Don't waste that mesh. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Well, here's the story. I'm back to play in the wreath room today. I didn't really intend to make a wreath today. I was looking down here for some supplies to work on my tablescape centerpiece, and I found that I had 3 rolls or partial rolls, actually 4 if you count a gold one, of mesh that was left over from making some Easter wreaths. And I just don't like wasting mesh. And it's the 21 inch, so it's not like I can use it to make ruffles. I could cut it in half, but then that ravels a lot and so on. So, to make a long story longer, I'm not going to waste the mesh. I'm going to make a bubble using as many different colors as I need to go around this frame. I have a 14-inch frame from the Dollar Tree, the one I usually use to make the bubbles. And we're just going to see what happens. If I can't get all the way around with these, I'll throw some other on. I can even put some 10-inch bubbles in, because we'll put a big bow on the end, so wherever it doesn't fit, we'll put a bow on. But let's see if we can't use up this mesh and make a pretty bubble wreath for Easter. So I'm going to pull you down to the desk, and I think the biggest hassle I'm going to have with this is these pieces of mesh all get stuck to each other when I'm trying to change them over. But we'll play with it and we'll get it done. So let me pull you down to the desk and we'll make a bubble with the leftover mesh. Right back. Okay, here's my wreath form. I have this plain purple. I have this purple that has some silver lines in it. And I have some of this pretty mesh that we used the other day left. And so I'm going to try using all 3 of these and see if we can't get around this frame. And I think it'll be a challenge, but we're going to give it a try. And I know we can make a bubble using more than one mesh. I've done that before. My biggest issue is, am I going to have enough to go around this whole thing? But we're going to work at it. So I'm just going to start by zip tying this onto the frame at a crossbar with the zip tie going in the right direction. Now the difference in this one is that I'm going to have to use quite a few zip ties because I'll be changing out mesh. And we'll just kind of push this down through. Alright, so I'm going to try by starting with and I'm going to do, I think, 10-inch bubbles. And it won't come out even as far as how many of each color is in each section, because you can't fit the same amount of bubbles in each section. The closer you get towards the end of your project, the less area you have for your bubbles. Now I'm using the middle 2 rings on this form to wrap the pipe cleaner around. And I'm coming up tight. Now I'm going to cut this off. Before I cut it though, I'm going to zip tie it because the pipe cleaner won't hold it from coming loose. I actually would like to zip tie both of them at the same time. Maybe I can do that. Let me just hold that. Hold that thought. Okay, we'll take some of this. And this is really uneven at the top. Now I'm going to do this one here. And now I'm going to try to put that zip tie around both of them. Let's see if we can do that. And if we can't, I'll go back and just do one and then the other. Okay. And you can see these little pieces here, but I think this bubble is going to hide them. Let's just see. My pieces I cut off are stuck to it. There we go. Get down there. Okay, now I'm going to pull this up tight to the other one, as tight as I can, and give it a twist. Now I can still see those, so what we're going to do is put them down underneath. Alrighty. Another bubble. And I think I'll do them separately next time, because that is going to have to be covered up. I think I can work with it. I actually went to another section. I didn't want to do that yet. You know, if you have leftover 10-inch mesh, you can use it for ruffles on another poof wreath or something like that. But when you have leftover 21, you're kind of at a loss as to what to do. I'm going to do 3 of these. And I pulled that one right out. That wasn't so good. I guess I didn't have it tight enough. We shall get it tight enough now. Okay, and then I will bring it up and tie it to one before. Now it's not going anywhere. Cut. Zip tie. Some of the people who make these wreaths use zip ties for every one of their bubbles, so it's not unusual to have a lot of zip ties. It is unusual to keep cutting it, obviously. Okay, that's not going anywhere, and I'm going to push that right down underneath. You know, and when we're all done, we'll go through the back and pretty it up. Now, we'll take this one. And I could have made a straight edge on that before I gathered it, but I didn't. And I'm going to take that one and zip tie it right next to the other one. And I got it backwards again. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to push it down underneath. I'm pushing it down under the form. And I'm going to push this zip tie up as tight as I can get it. Okay. Here we go. And I'm not worried about these pieces right now. We'll fix those when we get around. I think we'll do one more. We're on a roll. And I'm just going around the frame, keep it tight. Look at that so far. Excellent. Put this down. I'm going to try doing it this way this time. I'm going to go down under first and then zip tie it underneath. And I think that'll hold it down better. One of these zip ties that I put on before I finish this wreath will be on in the right direction. I think. Okay. Back to this. And I'm going to go down through the frame again, see if I can keep as much of this as possible underneath. Put a zip tie on. And before I tighten it all the way, I'm going to push this up as far as I can. And then tighten it. This is a very stiff mesh. I think I mentioned that when we used it. These little end pieces are kind of in your way of your fingers here, but you know, work with it, work with it. They don't give this stuff away, you know. You have to pay for it. So, I'm all in for making it last. I went around the bar to the next section there, and I didn't want to, because I won't be able to push it up tight enough. There we are. Well, you know, I do a lot of, or have done, I haven't done any in a while, but knitting and crocheting, and you know, when you're using multiple yarns, you put them on a yarn bobbin and basically carry them behind your work. Look at that. Is that perfection? Kind of a mess from the underneath, but we'll fix that when we're all done. Okay, the plain one. I'm going to do another, I think I'll do one more here. That's more than I did the last time, but we'll squish it up because I'm thinking if I get the multicolor one in next, I'll end with the purple. It'll look like two purples, but they're two different purples. So I think you'll be able to see the difference. And look, that's all that's left there now. I'm good with that. That can go in the garbage. Come on, Lady Jane. Well, 2 in a row is all I got. I'm back to being backwards. Look at this, folks. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Gee, I sometimes amaze myself. Don't you? What is that show? Let me think now. Oh, can't think of it. I know somebody will. Mr. T was on it. And they always said, I love it when a plan comes together. Well, that's how I feel about this. I spy. I spy? Well, if you're not my age, you probably wouldn't remember it anyway. Whoop, let's go this way. A little big. Well, you know what I have done? I have twisted the mesh. So let me just get this off the roller. I'm about done with this mesh anyway. I think we'll get a couple of poofs out of it. There we go. And I'm not really looking to see that they're all totally even numbers all the way around. If somebody wants to count each bubble, have at it. I'm going to use the rest of this. Whoop. Love it. They're really hard to bubble up when you get to the end of that because the mesh has a mind of its own. I think I'll use a zip tie here because then I can cut it off. I'm going to get it almost tight, then push it up, and now tighten it. One more section. Okay, I'm going to get it 3/4 tight, push it up, and now I'll tighten it. There we go. All right, I'm going to finish this up and I'll be back to make the bow. Be right back. Okay, here we are. Look at this. Is this gorgeous or what? And now we used all of the multicolor. I have about 1 foot left on this one and about the same on this one. So guess where they can go? And I don't feel bad about that at all. So I'm going to put this over to the side. We're going to put together a pretty ribbon and get this. I'm going to start with the wide pink. I think you all can see. And I'm going to go 6 inches. And I'm going to twist this just because this ribbon does not need to be twisted. Oh, it does have a little bit of a difference. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to twist it. And I'm going back out here. Twist it. Back out here, and I'm not going to twist this, I'm going to cut it off. Now I have a narrow purple. Make those a little longer. And I think I'll go just the tiniest bit shorter, not a lot. Now I have this pretty blue that's going to pick up the blue in that multicolored mesh. So I'm going to put some of this on. And this one is a definite twist. Now I'm just going to go a little bit in on this one. A little bit in. And we'll cut the tail. Got it backwards. Oh my goodness, I have the backwards-itis today. And the last one I'm going to use is some pink and purple with the gumdrops, or yes, snow jelly beans. Okay, take a zip tie. I'm going to go under the whole thing. Get the two pieces and pull it up. I'm going to start the zip tie and push it around to the back. And now I used all the whites. I'll use this little beige one. It won't show anyway. And put that through because that's what's going to tie it onto the wreath. And now I'm going to tighten it. The tails all down the front. And I'm not going to spend too long fluffing it now. I'll put it on the wreath and we'll give it another fluff afterwards. And I'm going to put it right up here where the double purples are. Just going to scoot down between. I'm going to roll these up a little bit. There you go. The 1.5 ones roll nicely. Okay, let me go and put this on the door and we'll see what it looks like. Be right back. So there you go. Look at that. That is one pretty Easter wreath. And it's made with all of the leftover mesh. The colors go good together. And the bow is pretty. I surprised myself. Think outside the box sometimes. Nice and full. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love it. So give it a try. If you have all this leftover stuff and you don't know what to do with it, it takes a little getting used to with the cutting and using those zip ties to put it on again, but after a bit it comes easier. And you can make a beautiful bubble with just your leftovers. So remember this, don't waste the mesh. So that's all for today. I'll see you back on Friday. And I think we'll probably work on the tablescape on Friday. So until then, have a great afternoon. And everybody play nice now. Bye-bye.